Now, Local 2 News presents Houston's Chinese Connection with Linda Laurel.
The grandeur and majesty of ancient China as reflected in the Great Wall. Millions come from around the world to witness this marvel that was built over centuries to keep the enemy away. On this day, among those who have traveled from halfway around the world, the Houston Rockets, led by Yao Ming, Houston's Chinese connection. At one time, the Great Wall may have seemed an unlikely connection to the sport of basketball. But then came Yao Ming, the 7'6", 310-pound native of China, who has used his height, his skill, and his charisma to charm millions of NBA fans. And an increasing number of them are in China. With a population of 1.3 billion, some 43% of Chinese say,
"I love this game!"
With that in mind, with an eye on potential profit, and with Yao Ming as the catalyst, the NBA decided to host the 2004 China Games, 2 preseason games between the Houston Rockets and the Sacramento Kings. The first time 2 U.S. pro teams have ever played each other in China. On the evening of October 12th in Shanghai, a high-ranking city official welcomes members and coaches of both teams, as well as NBA Commissioner David Stern.
And we're delighted that Yao Ming has brought us much closer together.
For Yao, it's an emotional moment, a triumphant return home with his NBA teammates, just 2 years after embarking on his career with the Rockets.
Yao Ming is a Superman. He can play the basketball very well.
Not so long ago, he was one of them, an elementary school student who couldn't possibly know just how far his dreams would take him.
Stand back. You gotta get out. You gotta stay back.
Now the 24-year-old basketball star returns to #1 Guan Road Primary School in Shanghai as a national hero, a role model to young and old alike. Once inside, Yao and other dignitaries participate in the NBA's Read to Achieve event to promote literacy and the importance of reading. Kicking things off, a song most would recognize in any language. With every word and movement captured by international media who have become Yao's ever-present shadow, his teammate Dikembe Mutombo delights in reading with a young boy.
A red balloon and even a green caterpillar.
Then it's Yao's turn to read with a little girl before heading outside for a special presentation. The NBA would like nothing more than to produce more little Yao Mings. So with that in mind, the league donated 2 new basketball goals to the school. It's just a small part of the millions the NBA admits to investing in staging the China Games. Despite the support of several high-profile sponsors, including Walt Disney, Kodak, McDonald's, and Reebok, the league does not expect immediate profits from this first-time venture. Rockets president and CEO George Pastolis. Why is it important for the NBA to be branching out like it is?
Oh, it's all about building bridges, and it's all about international expansion.
Expansion beyond the NBA's current 73 international players who represent 34 countries. That's right. In case you hadn't noticed, the NBA is now a global enterprise. Former Houston Rocket and Hall of Famer Clyde Drexler didn't think it would happen quite so fast.
12, 14 years ago when we had a couple of European players who entered the NBA, we never envisioned that it would take on such mega proportions.
But it has. From Serbia to Argentina and points in between, international players are making their mark in the NBA. Rockets coach Jeff Van Gundy during his first news conference at the China Games.
As we've seen through the Olympics, many countries play basketball very, very well now, and I think this is a great opportunity to be here.
I love you, Yao Ming.
In China and the States, Yao Ming may be the superstar, but he's one of 3 Chinese players currently in the NBA. And Yao's best friend Lu Wei was hoping to become the 4th. turning his time training with the Sacramento Kings into a spot on the roster. But it was not to be. 1 week after the China games ended, the Kings cut Liu, who will remain the starting guard for the Chinese national team. It's probably just as well that the fans who filled Shanghai Stadium the night of October 14th to watch Yao's Rockets take on Liu's Kings didn't know what was to come. They were just thrilled to see them play an NBA game in their hometown.
I think it's great for the league as a whole and its promotion of the NBA and basketball as a whole because it gets more people involved and gets more people excited about sport.
Which is exactly what the league is trying to do. Tap into an untapped market in the fastest growing economy in the world where fans will buy into anything NBA. And though there would be many challenges to overcome, don't be surprised to one day see regular season NBA games in China.
I think that's a real possibility. We've been playing regular season games in Japan since 1991. And as the new facilities get built here and the popularity of the sport continues, I think it's definitely in our future.
What do you think is the NBA's future here in China?
You know, I think the NBA is going to continue to put on events here, continue to try and make sure that they are in touch with the Chinese people.
As Yao Ming's interpreter and a student of Chinese culture, 30-year-old Colin Pine has witnessed firsthand the growth of basketball in China and Yao's rise to stardom. But even he is now taken aback at the magnitude of Yao's popularity in his homeland.
The scene has been unbelievable in terms of the fan reaction. It's amazing to see, you know, how people really worship Yao Ming here.
When we come back, Yao Mania, as China welcomes home its favorite son.
Welcome back to Houston's Chinese Connection with Linda Laurel.
October 14th, 2004, game day in Shanghai. Months of anticipation come to a crescendo as Chinese basketball fans try to catch a glimpse of their favorite NBA stars at Shanghai Stadium. One star in particular.
It's less than an hour before game time. Some of the Rockets and the Kings are just arriving, and you see the total chaos that is out here. Seasoned veterans in the NBA tell us they have never seen anything like this. Not even the Dream Team during the Olympics caused this kind of fan frenzy, and it's all because of Yao Ming.
Ironically, Yao is not on any of these buses. Fans don't know he's already inside, having arrived hours earlier to avoid just such a scene. A scene that turned scary when the crush of the crowd almost sent flimsy barricades tumbling. More security stepped in, and fortunately, no one was injured. Despite the scare, the level of enthusiasm remained high as the crowd recognized stars from the Sacramento Kings. Especially Liu Wei, starting guard for the Shanghai Sharks, who was trying out for the Kings. Meantime, Chris Webber, also a fan favorite, videotaped the surreal scene and later told me why.
Getting off of the bus, seeing all the Wild fans out there cheering for us, you know, it still amazes me that people so far away know who you are and know what you do. So it humbles you and it just makes you have a good time.
Inside Shanghai Stadium, the pregame show was gearing up, both teams having brought their mascots, cheerleaders, and dancers to keep the crowd fired up. Finally, their first glimpse of the man who is now a national hero, Yao Ming. The night before the game, Yao also found himself surrounded by adoring fans, this time at a welcoming reception for both teams. Those lucky enough to get an invitation snapped photos, got autographs, and did their best to rub shoulders, so to speak, with the man of the hour. Even Yao's teammates and managers are in awe at his star power.
Obviously, this is Yao City, and the love and respect that the people are giving him is unbelievable. And it's just a great experience for the whole Rockets organization.
To be in his homeland,
having all these people following us all over the place is great. And it made some of us who's been famous to be more famous than we ever have.
Former Rocket and NBA analyst Kenny Smith says that will only continue for those who play with Yao.
Well, the impact is not on Yao. The impact will be on Tyronn Lue, be on Juwan Howard. You know, guys who are not household names over here will become household names, and opportunities and you know, globally probably expand for a lot of guys in the NBA. Tracy McGrady's going to probably soar out the roof, you know, by, you know, playing with Yao, not only just on the basketball level, but things outside of basketball.
And Smith says Yao is in the same league as another NBA icon.
You know, we see Michael Jordan and bigger than Michael here. I mean, this is overwhelming.
The fans here are crazy. You know, they love basketball. They love the Rockets, you know, obviously because of Yao. And, you know, they've been treating us real well.
You ready for the game?
We almost forgot about the game. But
yes, the game. The Rockets' power dancers are ready, Clutch is ready, and the fans are certainly ready to welcome their hero home. After all the pre-game hype, the game itself gets off to a slow start from the Rockets' perspective, but they gather steam and ultimately give the fans what they want, an 88-86 victory over the Kings, with Yao's team-high 14 points leading the way.
It's great. It's great because I think it's the first time that Yao Ming came back and played in Shanghai as an NBA player, and obviously, look around, it's his home court.
Good job.
As chaotic as things were in Shanghai, they are just that controlled here in Beijing. No problems at all with crowd control as the Rockets arrived here at the stadium. The enthusiasm of the fans, however, is just as high. As the Rockets took the court for pre-game practice, the fans all crowded around, eager to get as many close-up shots of Yao Ming as possible. Then, game time at Beijing Capitol Stadium. Nearly 18,000 in the stands for round 2 of the historic NBA China Games. Fans can hardly contain their excitement.
Oh, yeah!
They cheer at Yao's every move and are on their feet for most of the game, every bit giving in to Yao mania, even though the Rockets go on to lose 91-89. Yao's interpreter, Colin Pine, is used to seeing fans go crazy for Yao. Whether causing a frenzy during a visit to his old school,
Go back.
sparking a wave of adulation at a public reception, or creating chaos outside Shanghai Stadium.
And in one sense, that's great. It's just great to see people excited about basketball and excited about the Rockets here. But it's a little bit overwhelming, and I think it's worn everybody out a lot.
Especially the man in the eye of the storm. Earlier in the week, Yao Ming managed to take a short break from the madness while his teammates took time out to visit one of the most famous sites in the world. When we come back, the Rockets, the Great Wall, and a closer look at China.
Houston's Chinese Connection continues with Linda Laurel.
Basketball is what took the Houston Rockets to China, but beyond the stadium walls and hordes of fans is an ancient land teeming with history, tradition, and astounding beauty. Perhaps nowhere more so than at the site of one of the 7 architectural wonders of the world. So from the moment they get off the bus, cameras in hand, the Rockets are ready to experience the magic and majesty of the Great Wall.
Are you ready? Yeah, we're ready.
They begin their journey toward the foot of the mountain as the locals look on. Jim Jackson not wanting to miss a single moment.
You gotta take the pictures for the archives, baby. Oh, that's hot. Yeah, that's hot.
Training camp invitee Brooke Sales starts a trend, and before long, practically the whole team is sporting a new look.
Oh, that's so nice.
Janine Howard captures the moment for husband Juwan and all the guys.
Got it.
Then a few steps closer to their destination, but not before fielding an ever-present pitch from a vendor.
You remember me? I will. All right, see you later. Okay, I name Wang.
And posing for this priceless photo. For a price, of course.
I think they got me on that one. I had to pay $20 for a picture.
Finally, they arrive at the tram. It slowly ascends the mountain, and suddenly, there it is, the Great Wall of China, more than 2,000 years of history staring them in the face. Moments later, they are preserving the moment for posterity.
Okay, let's get at it.
And then they walk along the wall. It stretches from east to west across China, approximately 4,100 miles, and was built in sections over hundreds of years to protect the country from its enemies. In fact, it didn't become the Great Wall until an emperor in the Qin dynasty ordered the sections connected to fend off the Huns. This is Mutianyu, about 44 miles northeast of Beijing, one of the more well-preserved sections. Its remains primarily from the Ming dynasty. This historic week in China has brought a series of firsts for the Rockets, but among everything they've seen and done this week, most say this is what they'll remember most.
Oh, I'm missing all right now. I did not want to miss out on this opportunity. Me and my wife wanted to definitely experience this and be able to cherish this for a lifetime.
Somehow, the trip to the Great Wall brings out the kid in everyone. From the players
Up at the Great Wall of China, baby.
to the power dancers
Oh, wait, already.
to the coach. Yes, that's a smiling Jeff Van Gundy wrapping up his day at the Great Wall with a photo op on a camel. It's a photo his wife Kim will treasure, along with many other memories, including a Shanghai shopping trip with the other Rocket wives, their hosts Yao Ming's mom and Yao's cousin Angie. Today, Yuyuan Garden is a thriving area of markets, temples, parks, and restaurants. But the garden itself was built 450 years ago by a Chinese military official.
Some locals come, some tourists come. They come here for like food, for relax, enjoying the scenery.
Tell her they're buying 6.
And in the case of this group, Major League Shopping. Near the top of their list, but only for the right price.
50%. Half, yes. Okay.
Ah, but the ladies think they can do better.
We go walk, we come back. Okay.
They find jade in every color and richly hued pashmina shawls, kitschy Chairman Mao watches, and even Game Boy games.
I want trick too. Yeah, let me see. Can you show me? Play?
Then finally, a deal on silk pajamas too good to pass up.
200, yes. 200. 200.
200 yuan, that's about 24 American dollars.
Thank you.
One thing is clear, capitalism is thriving in this communist country. After comparing purchases, it's off to a traditional Chinese lunch at a restaurant hand-picked by Mrs. Yao.
Angie, show us again.
After several lessons in how to use chopsticks, the ladies go for it, trying a variety of dishes. Some that look familiar, some that don't, and some that are in their very own category.
Eat it like that?
Oh, it's good.
Let's have salad.
It is good.
From the rare taste of old Shanghai and Yuyuan Garden, to the locals embracing tradition as they begin their day, to the bright lights of the Bund, this city of 17 million provides a striking contrast between the old and the new. Shanghai is considered the most modern city in China. One look at the skyline, and you see why. Situated on the banks of the Huangpu River, the Bund looks a lot like the Vegas Strip, or Manhattan by night. It's Shanghai's most famous district. In fact, the Bund is where Yao Ming took his teammates for a private dinner atop a hotel overlooking the river. Shanghai is a leader in China's booming economy, a modern international city that symbolizes the country's future. Beijing is a modern city as well, preparing to host the 2008 Olympic Games. But it is also a city steeped in thousands of years of history. It's the capital city with a population of 10 million, the seat of government, with magnificent buildings and wide streets built to accommodate the many ceremonies, parades, and military displays. In Tiananmen Square, the tomb of Chairman Mao sits at the gate. The Forbidden City, where emperors held court, sits adjacent to that. But what so many remember about Tiananmen Square is the pro-democracy student protest in 1989 that, by most accounts, left hundreds dead when the military attacked. As the rockets gathered for a photo at the site, Dikembe Mutombo took a moment to reflect on the team's historic week in China.
We have an opportunity to take a walk in the Great Wall of China. Today, we're in one of the very special places, Tiananmen Square, where the student protection took place in 1989. That kind of symbolizes a lot.
Symbols and memories the Rockets will carry with them as they return home. We'll be right back. From the simple, elegant, mystical morning ritual in a Shanghai park to the magnificence of modern-day Tiananmen Square in Beijing, to the history-making NBA games that drove fans wild, we hope you enjoyed our journey to China with the Houston Rockets. We leave you tonight with more sights and sounds from the land of Yao.
I'm very proud to have come back to Yao's hometown.
It's a really hard chance for the Chinese fans saw the NBA players in China. It's really hard for them. A lot of people maybe only one time in their life.
Houston Rockets, go!
It's almost like traveling with Elvis, though. I mean, it's really hard. My heart goes out to Yao Ming and what he has to deal with every day because, I mean, he's so popular and so just beloved over here.
It's crazy in China. Like you see, I know you there, and they don't want to give us any space.
好吧 I get discount, 20% discount.
50% discount?
20% discount.
Oh, 20?
Yeah. I get cheaper stuff.
Angie, show us again.
You can go that shrimp. You skewered it.
Texas, man. We love Texas here. Oh, yeah. NBA, welcome to China.